Hey there, potato heads. In case you kind of haven't been, keeping up, that's like our new family name. So Hey there, potato heads. My name is Kuna, but you can call me Potato Mommy, and welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. I make all sorts of YouTube content, so please subscribe, okay? I am trying to get to 300 subscribers. I know I just got to 200 a couple days ago, and I'm probably being overambitious, but anything is possible. So if you want to help me, subscribe, okay? Yeah. Anyway, today we are starting a brand new segment on my YouTube channel, and it's going to be called Ask Potato Mommy. Woo! I don't have the music for it, so this is the best you're gonna get. This is a low budget production, ladies and gentlemen. You take what you're given. Anyway, so basically, this segment is just going to be about me giving advice. So once I started being more open about my situation and everything that happened to me in the past and is currently happening with me, a lot of people have been coming to me on my Instagram and asking me for advice or just looking for someone to talk to. A lot of people just come to me because they want someone to talk to. They don't really want me to give them advice, but they just feel like they want someone to talk to who they feel like won't be judgmental or who's been in a similar situation. So I decided to start a segment on it because I feel like it could help a lot of people. I know when I was pregnant, I was desperately looking on YouTube for advice or just to see what to expect and stuff like that, because sometimes it's scary to ask family or friends, or it seems embarrassing and things like that. So you kind of go to the internet. It's like a safe space. So I feel like I didn't find many Zimbabweans who are doing that. I used to find a lot of American people, but as a Zimbabwean, it's just, hey, hold on, Wanawakiri. Sometimes my accent gets the better of me. I'm like, as a Zimbabwean. Okay, no, as a Zimbabwean. Sometimes you just need people who are African, Zimbabwean, people you can relate to who are in similar situations. So yeah, so I'm just trying to be the YouTube channel that I needed when I was going through a hard time. So okay, so my initial plan was to be doing 2 stories or 2 questions per segment, but I realized I talk a lot, and if I honestly do 2 questions, this video could end up being a good 40 minutes to an hour long, which is unrealistic. So I'm just gonna do one, and I'll do one every week. If you can hear noise, it's because Jesse's playing in the passage. So yeah. Anyway, so I got my laptop, and I'm just gonna read the question for today. And it says, hey there, hi. It says, I recently did something pretty bad and it's not acceptable culturally. The problem is I told a friend and then we stopped talking. And at that point, she went and told other people. Now everyone knows, and I can tell they all talk about me at school and church, and now I'm too embarrassed to go anywhere. As a young mom, how did you manage to deal with people's negative opinions about you? Okay, so for me personally, I can say when I was pregnant, I was definitely extremely embarrassed and ashamed. I felt like I had brought such shame to my parents, my family, and myself more than anything, because I think everyone holds themselves to a very high standard, and everyone holds themselves to a certain level of just what I will and will not do, or what will or will not happen to me. And I never saw myself being pregnant before I was married. So I was definitely embarrassed and extremely ashamed. So I hid away from people for the longest time. I completely closed myself off to people. I deleted everything on my Instagram, completely stopped posting, completely stopped going on social media. I did everything possible to avoid people. On WhatsApp, I would not text people. I left every group I was in. I did everything I possibly could to avoid people. And then I think what happened was, after I had my son, when I had my son, and I mean as soon as I had him, it's I just realized there's no reason for me to be hiding, because the thing is, And I think it's one thing we all need to realize is people will always have an opinion about you, like whether it's negative or positive, people will always have an opinion about you. And I mean, it's said enough to us that like everyone is entitled to their opinion. But also it's like in as much as people are entitled to their opinions, you're also entitled to the right to not give a damn about people's opinions. So even if people think negatively about you or have negative things to say about you, you have every right to not care. Like, just because someone thinks something bad about you, or whether it's the majority of people, or however many people think something bad about you, what matters is what you think about yourself. Okay. And if you are embarrassed of whatever happened to you, like you're saying, then the best you can ever do for yourself is just to better yourself and move past it. For me, that meant changing my situation. I knew for a fact I couldn't change the fact that I was pregnant, and I can't change the fact that I'm a mother, but I can change how I could change how I reacted towards it and how I felt about it. Because instead of focusing on the fact that, oh my gosh, like I'm pregnant, I'm 20, and my life plan or how I wanted my life to be is not how it's going anymore, I started focusing on, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant and I'm going to have a baby, and I have so much to look forward to, so many experiences to look forward to, so many things to look forward to. And that put me in the mindset of, oh my word, I have so many things I need to change about myself and better about myself before this baby comes, for the good of myself and for the good of this baby. I wanted him to grow up in a wholesome, with a mother who was like a whole person. And I think the thing is, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has done something they're embarrassed of. The only difference is some people's mistakes aren't publicly, visible, and some people's mistakes are. So, whenever you do something and then people know about it, or it's like in plain sight for people to criticize, it's then very easy to look at yourself as if you are so much worse than the next person, or you are in such, like, so much of a worse situation, or you're such a terrible person as compared to the next person, when in reality we're all bad people, good people. The only difference is whether you're striving to better yourself or not. So for me, I stopped hiding. I started going to church a lot again, singing in church, doing whatever, doing all the things I love to do, and being visible doing them, and showing people that whether or not you are in support of my situation, whether or not you are happy for me, whether or not you feel negatively about my situation, whatever you think is not going to affect how I live my life, because you will literally miss so many good experiences and memories for the sake of, simply because of the fact that someone has said something about you that isn't positive. And what does that give you in life? It gives you nothing. Like, if I try and think of like all the months I spent in fear and embarrassment about my pregnancy because I was just worried of what people were going to say about me, it's honestly something I regret so much, because I could have spent those months bettering my mindset, and I could have started bettering myself way earlier than I actually did, or way earlier than the revelation actually then came to me. But whatever. Another thing is, I think it's just good not to be dependent on people's opinions. And by this I mean, whether people are saying good things about you or whether people are saying bad things about you, you shouldn't like clutch onto that. You shouldn't be dependent on that. Like, the idea of getting a rise off of people's like encouragement and people's like motivation or whatever. Like, an example is like, if, let's say, you have 3 people every day who tell you, oh my goodness, you're beautiful. Like, every time they see you, they tell you, you look good, you're beautiful, X, Y, and Z, right? If on, I don't know, another day, tomorrow, you step outside and you see those 3 people and none of them tells you you look good, are you then going to feel like there's something lacking about you, or you don't look good, or you're no longer as beautiful? Or are you going to then sit back and think, maybe I need to change this about me, maybe I need to change that about me, because person X, Y, and Z didn't think I looked good today, or don't think I look beautiful today? That's the problem when you depend wholly on and solely on people's affirmations of you. If you don't like affirm yourself, if you don't give yourself that love and that encouragement, you're gonna depend on other people doing that for you. And when they don't have the time to do that for you, you're gonna do everything in your power to possibly please them or get that out of them again. And the more you do that, the more you divert from who you are as a person and what you want for yourself. So whether opinions are negative or positive, you shouldn't let them determine how you live your life. Like, the only opinion that should matter to you is yours. Well, for me, it's mine and my God's. Like, whatever anyone else thinks of me, that's their issue. But as long as I feel like I'm doing right for me and I'm getting better for me, and in the long run, it's a better me for my son, it's a better me for the people who are around me, the people I love, and the people I want to be better for. When it comes to the whole thing of how I dealt with people's negative opinions, I will say this though. I do believe that a great percentage of how people speak on your name or how people talk about you is dependent on you. The way you show yourself and the way people perceive you is actually dependent on you. Now, the degree differs with people. Another person might think that's completely like your thing, like how you see me is up to you. Another person might think it's how I show myself and that's how I see it. Like, personally, and this to me was just like it was a practical thing. It really happened because when I was embarrassed and when I was shy and when I didn't want people to know I was pregnant, when I was hiding, I knew more of the negative things people said. I heard more of the negative thing people said. I could see the dirty looks and the negativity. I could see it. I could sense it. I could feel it. It was all around me, and it was because in the situation, I was embarrassed of what I was going through. So I gave people the power to then have this right to speak on my situation, like however. And then when I finally like flipped over and I started this whole journey on just making myself better and doing what was good for me and my child, it's almost as if that stopped. I know for a fact that there are still people out there who think negatively about my situation. Duh, I am a mother at 23, so of course. But those people don't say it to my face anymore. Those people don't show it to my face anymore. People who come to me and want to say things to me are people who only want to say positive things about me. And I don't care whether they say positive things or not, but I'm just saying, when I decided to take things into my own hands and be confident in my situation and say to myself, I said to myself, you know what, this is in the past. I can't change what I've done, but I can change what I do from now on. And for me, what that meant was changing how I saw my situation. I know everyone will say, like, I made a mistake because I was pregnant at 20. And I will admit, my mistake was, getting pregnant at the age of 20 and, what I did to get pregnant at the age of 20. But having my son and being a mother and everything that has happened to me now is not a mistake. It's 110% intentional. This is my life and this is the life I want. Okay, like, I don't see my life, like, I can't even see my life without my son anymore. Like, I try and think sometimes, like, imagine if I didn't have him, where would I be right now? But it's like anything I think of or any reality that comes to me just isn't as good as what I have now, because I'm happy and I'm whole and I feel complete. So I think it's just an issue of how you turn your situation to be the best for you. It's how can you learn from your situation? How can you use whatever you've done to better you? And how can you grow and develop and become better? But if you then let everything that's being said about you sink into you and then you go and you hide in a shell, all you're doing is you're giving people power over you, which isn't really the best thing for you. Like, why would you want what people have to say about you be what you think about yourself, right? I think to sum up what I'm saying is the easiest way to put it is like, there's two things my father always says to me, and my dad always says these things to me. I think since I was like in form 4 up until now, he always says two things to me, and that's like, number one is failure is the beginning of success. And that just means that don't ever feel like your life is over just because you've made a mistake. Like, the honest truth is, if you've really hit the pits and you're at, like, I don't know, you're gone, you're at the bottom of anything and everything, the only place you could go from there is up. So you do have something to look forward to. Like, always remember, failure is the beginning of success. And the second thing my dad is always saying to me is, saints are just sinners who kept trying, which is the truth. Like, all the people we look up to, all the people we emulate, all the people we talk about so positively in society and whatever, had times when they were looked down upon, had times when they did things wrong, whether it's public or it's private, whether it's known or it's unknown. But they have had times when they were down in the dumps. They have had times when they were the worst possible versions of themselves, or they did the worst possible mistakes that you could have thought of. But then what makes the difference between them being where they are now and where they were before is how they flipped their mistake and how they flipped their situation, and how you take life by the horns and you control it yourself. Sometimes, unpopular opinion, but sometimes bad things come because you need them. It's like a wake-up call. And I hate saying bad, and I hate saying mistake, and I hate saying problem, because it always feels to me like it's like a way of saying, you know, for me it's like a personal thing because I have a baby. It's like society's way of saying like your baby is a mistake, and I don't want to grow up, like my son to grow up with that idea that like he's a mistake. So I hate saying that word, but I'm like, for lack of a better word, anytime anything bad happens, it's because you kind of need that wake-up call, and you need that reason to change something and to fix something about yourself. And for me, that personally was my son. He came at the most unexpected time, at the time I would have least expected to ever have a baby or such a great responsibility, at a time when I thought I was still a baby, at a time when I thought, like, when I wholly and solely was dependent on mommy and daddy, and I had everything done for me by everyone, and I was like living the little princess dream. And then I got smacked in the face by reality, and the growth that has come to me since then is something that I could have never learned on my own. It's something that no job could have taught me. It's something that no degree could have taught me. It's something that only my son could have brought into my life. So don't beat yourself up over the things that you've done. You can't change them, but as long as you feel like you're doing what's good to better yourself now. Okay guys, I have to go because there's an emergency, but thank you guys so much for watching. From me, Potato Mommy, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you guys love and light. Bye.